Marvel fans, oh my goodness, do we have some absolutely insane new leaks and rumors when it comes to Deadpool 3. And this stuff's so crazy and there's just so much of it to go over that I'm making videos on the weekend. So let's get into all these new leaks and reports, try to match up how they tie in with other leaks and rumors that we've had in the past. And we'll try our best to figure out how all of these rumors could tie into what we already know about Deadpool 3. Okay, so first up, it's important to mention that most of what we're going to talk about in this video comes from a big YouTube video / podcast done by the Diz Insider. And the Diz Insider is great and they have incredible sources, but they did put this video out as a compilation of rumors. Like, if these were all things they were certain about that were coming from incredible sources, they would just report them as exclusive. So instead, they're talking about rumors based on a lot of stuff they've heard behind the scenes. And as I've been trying to say in all of my videos covering Deadpool 3, we've got to take all of this stuff with a grain of salt. Just like Multiverse of Madness, it's obvious Marvel has a whole bunch of really cool ideas and fun cameos that they'd like to have in the movie. But just like Multiverse of Madness, not everything that's being talked about at Marvel is actually going to end up in the film. And there might even be some things they shoot that then they remove. And on top of that, we got this big writer's strike, actor strike going on. So who knows when that'll end, and when it does end, it's possible Marvel will make a lot of changes to Deadpool 3. But regardless, this stuff is incredibly hyped up, so we've got to talk about it. Now, before we get into the rumor list from the Diz Insider, there are a couple other stories I want to talk about. First up, Daniel Richtman reported on Thursday that Hugh Jackman had meetings with Kevin Feige before all of the strikes, and those meetings were about Wolverine having a massive role in Avengers Secret Wars. And that's absolutely dope as hell. It also tracks with a bunch of stuff that we've heard in the past, as we think Kevin Feige wants Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and Hugh Jackman Wolverine together forming the Avengers for Avengers Secret Wars. It's very possible they're the core group that will follow around for most of the narrative. Perhaps that group is even going into the multiverse and recruiting other individuals. And it's possible that Deadpool 3 is actually going to set up a lot of that for the eventual Avengers Secret Wars film. Now, another story that just literally broke today all has to do with Wanda the Scarlet Witch. And this is due to a huge article over at the Cosmic Circus where they're talking about the 838 Illuminati in Deadpool 3, the fact that Ian McKellen's Magneto will be in charge of the Illuminati in 838, but he'll also have Wanda by his side. And Wanda of 838 will have a father-daughter relationship with that Ian McKellen Magneto. There's a lot of other stuff in the article about Wanda, so I'm going to do a whole separate video on that, which should come out tomorrow. And in that video, we're going to detail a lot of stuff about the 838, Illuminati, and Wanda's increasing role in the multiverse, how Marvel might even explore that in X-Men 97. And it's looking more and more like the Scarlet Witch is going to be somewhat of a replacement for the Molecule Man from Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars story. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with that, you haven't been watching enough videos, but I'll explain it in the video tomorrow. Okay, now let's get into it. Again, this is all rumor coming from the Diz Insider, and as we go over each and every one of the rumored cameos here, I will talk about what other scoopers are saying, if there are other rumors hinting at these characters showing up, and we'll try to give a percentage chance of this character actually being in the film. So first up, let's talk about Daphne Keene's X-23. I think this one is probably a lock. I think she will appear in the movie in some way, shape, or form. There are past rumors indicating that she will be in the film, that we're even going to revisit sequences from the Logan movie where she is fighting alongside the Logan Wolverine. But Daphne Keene is also a lot older than she was during the filming of Logan, and it is even possible that we will see an older Laura as X-23 in one of the many universes that I think we're going to visit in Deadpool 3. Next up, they talk about Shatterstar, and this is freaking hype for me, dude. I love the Shatterstar character from comics. He's awesome, and I felt like he was done dirty in Deadpool 2. So I think it's great that Shatterstar's back. I hope they bring that same Filipino actor that played him in Deadpool 2, and I hope he gets a lot more shine because that character is dope. There are also rumors predating this video by the Diz Insider that talked about Shatterstar being in the movie, so I think he's probably in it, but again, it's a weird one. I'm going to give him like a 60% chance. Next up, they're talking about Wanda Maximoff, and the Diz Insider's did say, with specifically for Wanda, they have heard from incredibly good people that she will be in that film, that Elizabeth Olsen will be reprising the role of Wanda for Deadpool 3. And this tracks with a lot of other rumors. I know there was a moment when I thought that there wasn't going to be a Wanda in Deadpool 3, and that's because My Time to Shine Hello was telling me that Wanda's not in it, that the 838 is not in it. And so there are conflicting reports between people like Alex Perez, people like the Diz Insider, and My Time to Shine Hello. And in this instance, I'm really leaning towards these other scoopers. I think Wanda's absolutely going to be in this movie, and for a lot of reasons we'll talk about in tomorrow's video, I think it's important that they establish a lot of stuff about the Scarlet Witch in Deadpool 3. I'm giving her a 90% chance of being in the film. Now, next up, they talk about another Wolverine, and they talk about Taron Egerton. Now, this is really interesting because there were a lot of rumors and fan casting of Taron Egerton to be the new 616 Wolverine. And in fact, it got so big online that Hugh Jackman was even asked about it. In an interview with Empire Magazine back in January, Hugh Jackman said, Taron is one of the most talented actors out there, and you can see his range is incredible, but he's just got to cool his heels a little bit. So this one's kind of tricky because there's obviously been a lot of smoke around Taron being in the movie. I think it's possible they do what they did with Krasinski and have him pop up in the film and then just be destroyed, which frankly would be kind of unfortunate. However, I also think it's possible that he is the 616 Wolverine, that Taron Egerton is our new Wolverine, and at the end of Deadpool 3, you might even see Hugh Jackman Wolverine and Deadpool jump into the 616 universe, because I kind of think it would work having Hugh Jackman literally pass the baton to a different Wolverine. And we do know there's a big project on the horizon, a movie coming out from Marvel called The Mutants. And if a bunch of X-Men are jumping into the 616, I just don't see how those X-Men don't play a role in The Mutants movie. And I've talked about this before, but comics has done this. I mean, there have been times in the Marvel Comics X-Men run when you have older X-Men literally interacting with younger X-Men that were like pulled out of the timeline. And so who knows what's going on with Taron Egerton? Is he actually in the movie? Are they setting him up to be the new Wolverine? I'm not exactly sure. Oh, and just for clarity's sake, My Time to Shine Hello did come out and debunk this one, saying that Taron Egerton is not Wolverine in the movie. But again, My Time to Shine Hello said there was no 838 Illuminati. My Time to Shine Hello said no Wanda in Deadpool 3, and it seems like both of those things are absolutely in the film, so I'm just confused. Conflicting reports. What's going on? Next up, Loki. Loki's going to be in Deadpool 3, and that really shouldn't surprise anybody. I give this probably a 90% chance of happening. Alex Perez did kind of hint that this was real, that you're going to see Loki, but he also clarified that this won't be the Loki that we've come to know via the Loki series. So this is likely a Loki variant, or maybe even Loki when he first arrives at the TVA from Loki season 1. That could be really clever and sort of time up the events of Deadpool 3 with what was going on with Loki season 1. Either way, I expect to see Loki in this film, and hopefully it's more than just some fun cameo. I'd love there to be some substance to it, explaining more about the Loki character and his sort of cosmic destiny when it comes to He Who Remains and the TVA and whatnot. Next up, we've got Miss Minutes, who I absolutely believe is in the movie, and I recently did a video about how I believe Miss Minutes is actually the real villain of Deadpool 3. She's going to be helping the 838 Illuminati take vengeance on the 616. And going back to one of the first reports about Deadpool 3, which came from Jeff Snyder, he reported that Tara Strong as Miss Minutes and Owen Wilson as Agent Mobius would be in Deadpool 3, and that the plot of the movie was essentially going to boil down to Deadpool and Wolverine versus the TVA. Now, next up, one of my favorite new pieces of rumor. This is Doctor Doom from the Fantastic Four of the early 2000s. Now, believe it or not, there are old rumors tying Julian McMahon as Doctor Doom to Deadpool 3, although I think around that time there were a lot of rumors of the Fox Fantastic Four movie being in that film as well. This is where some of the rumors of even Chris Evans coming into this Deadpool 3 movie come from. But now the more current rumors are talking about how the 838 Illuminati is going to be built up of people that were related to the Illuminati members that were killed in the Multiverse of Madness. And apparently Jessica Alba as Sue Storm may well be the Illuminati member that is replacing Reed Richards in Deadpool 3. Perhaps Doctor Doom is going to be a part of that as well, or perhaps this is going to be from a section of the movie where Deadpool and Wolverine are time traveling, going back to moments from the early 2000s Fantastic Four films, and maybe that's when we'll see the McMahon friggin' Doctor Doom. On a side note, I also think that's what's going to happen with Charles Xavier. So I think Patrick Stewart is going to be in Deadpool 3, but in the 838 continuity, he was killed by Wanda. However, it's possible within 838, we might go back in time and visit Fox X-Men movies around the time of X2 and X3. And maybe there we will see Sir Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier. So it's likely the same thing's going to happen with Doctor Doom, which could be cool. But man, I just love the Doctor Doom character so much, and I secretly want him to have a massive role in the multiverse and a big, big role in Secret Wars. So if they do this Doctor Doom character, I hope they give him a little extra juice. I hope they make him really menacing and perhaps even hint that he's aware of what's going on with the time travel and the multiverse. Next up, we've got Ben Affleck's Daredevil. This one seems to be a lock. Again, like a 90% chance of this happening. It's in a ton of the other rumors, and it's been rumored that he as Daredevil and Jennifer Garner as Elektra are both going to be on the Illuminati or in some way connected to 838. Next up, we got Cassandra Nova. I've done a video on Cassandra Nova, and I've also talked about her in the video about Miss Minutes being the actual villain. And yeah, it just really seems like Emma Corrin is going to be a version of Cassandra Nova that's actually sad that her brother was killed by Scarlet Witch and wants to seek vengeance on the 616. Next up, we're going to see Mystique, and I don't think it's going to be Jennifer Lawrence. You're going to get the version of the character from the old Fox X-Men movies played by Rebecca Romijn. And I think this casting choice probably ties back into going to the X2, X3 time period via time travel. We're apparently going to see Jean Grey, Storm, and even Brian Cox as William Stryker. And I, again, think that's all connected to that X2, X3 time period, which we'll be visiting in the movie. Next up, apparently, we're going to get Channing Tatum as Gambit, and that's freaking awesome. I think this will probably be connected to the 838 universe. I believe they actually shot stuff with Channing Tatum already. I believe My Time to Shine Hello already talked about that. Taylor Swift as Dazzler. What an incredible rumor this is. This would be absolutely perfect for the character of Dazzler, but a lot of people have come forward to say this is not real. It's probably a cool idea that they had at Marvel Studios, and perhaps it could happen if scheduling lined up perfectly. But Taylor Swift's on like a crazy Canadian tour right now, like selling out more tickets than actually people live in Canada. She's wildly successful, insanely popular. She doesn't need the MCU Disney check, so she'd only do it if it felt right and it was fun and it was for the fans. And even if it did happen, I'm assuming it would be a one-off kind of cameo like you get with John Krasinski. And then finally, they talk about Magneto, Ian McKellen Magneto, and this is obvious. Not only has this been probably the longest standing rumor of a prominent X-Men character that's going to be in Deadpool 3, but for a long time, we've thought that Ian McKellen as Magneto was essentially going to be the villain of the movie. And again, there's a lot of evidence here to suggest that this is going to be the Magneto that's now in charge of the Illuminati, trying to keep the 838 universe together after the devastating effects of the Multiverse of Madness film. So to me, all of these things seem really awesome. A lot of them actually probably will end up in the movie. There are a few that probably won't. I'm most excited for the possibility of Taron Egerton Wolverine and the possibility of him being 616 Wolverine, although that is feeling like a slim chance now. I'm super hyped up that we might get more Shatterstar, and I hope he's done justice. And the Doctor Doom thing is my absolute favorite part of this. I really hope it's true, and I hope they give some real juice to that character for Secret Wars. I mean, if they're going to make Hugh Jackman Wolverine this massive part of Secret Wars and have him on the side of the heroes, it would be freaking awesome if the Victor Von Doom from the early 2000s showed up in a big, big way as one of the villains during Secret Wars. Either way, that's a lot of rumors. I gotta know what you think about all this, so let me know in the comment section below. Smash a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you stay tuned tomorrow where I'll drop the big video about Wanda and 838. And if you have any questions about anything we talked about in this video or just anything nerdy in general, come on by the live streaming channel. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.